down with whatever is going around, so hence the mask. So what we are going to do is welcome to the Payton LSC Candidate Forum. So we have our candidates here tonight. We will hear from our candidates for parent rep as well as for community rep. And each person will have 2 minutes. There's a timer on the screen. Please adhere to the time because we do have our regular meeting immediately preceding the candidate forum. That is scheduled to begin at 6 o'clock. After we hear from all the candidates, we will then do the straw poll to know what order each candidate will be on the ballot. Okay? Fantastic. All right, so we are going to go ahead and start with our parent reps. We are calling the parent reps in the order in which they filed their application for the LSC. Okay? So our first parent rep running for office is Mr. Alan Brockton.
Oh, wow, that's the first one.
Yes,
All right. So, ready? Good evening, everyone.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay,
Okay, go for it.
All right, here we go. My name is Alan Brockton. I'm a parent at Walter Payton. My daughter, Allie, is in 10th grade. My son is a junior on the football team. I also serve as head of the football boosters, actively working with parents, coaches, and school leadership to support our students. Like all of you, I care deeply about making sure our kids have every opportunity to succeed, not just academically, but as well-rounded individuals. My family is also closely connected to the school's leadership. My wife, Dr. Brogdon, who's on the LSC already, is rolling off, going to give more of her time to her own school. And I've seen firsthand the importance of strong governance, collaboration, thoughtful decision-making. Professionally, I spent my career in public service. I worked for the Marching Arms for 25 years as the Chief Operating Officer. And the Chief Operating Officer at Mothers Against Drunk Driving right now. And I sit on the board of the Progeria Research Foundation in Boston, Massachusetts. And a big part of my background is fundraising, building relationships, bringing in resources, helping organizations grow and sustain their impact. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to finish this. I'm running for school council because the strong schools do not just happen. They require engaged parents, clear priorities, and thoughtful leadership. If elected, I'll focus on 4 things: supporting academic excellence while recognizing the pressure our students face. Payton has high standards, and we need to maintain that while making sure our students are supported. Second, strengthening communication, transparency, so parents understand not just what decisions are being made, but why. Third, supporting our teachers and staff, making sure the school has the resources it needs to continue to thrive. Fourth, working in partnership with the administration. Her role should be to support the school leadership in making the changes needed to continue elevating Payton with a shared goal of being the best high school in the country. I'm not coming in with any agenda. I'm leaving now with 2 minutes. I'm going to listen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That clock is...
Yeah. So we're going to record it so that people can watch too, just so the candidates know.
We hadn't had a chance to tell you.
Yeah, so the camera's
It's right
over
here.
there. It's
The camera's
fine.
right here.
We just,
When you come up, just stand here and kind of like face.
yeah, sorry, we didn't. That was a new addition. Sorry about that.
Okay.
That was a little convo. So sorry about that.
No worries.
Thank you. Our next parent rep is Rishi Agrawal.
Try and face the right way. All right, thank you so much. It's been such an honor to be a part of the school community here. You know, the best high school in Illinois, one of the best in the country. I've now got about 7 years overall of LSC leadership, 3 years or so here at Payton, before that at South Loop Elementary. I think, you know, I've had a huge amount of pride in a lot of the successes we've had, but also acknowledging a lot of the challenges we've had. I think what I'd like to think that I've brought and what I hope to be able to continue to bring is just an even-handed approach towards finding the meaningful, practical way to help this school continue to be as great as it is and to improve wherever it is we can. Thanks so much.
Our next candidate is Cassie Ng.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cassie Ng, and I'm running as parent rep for the Walter Payton LSC. My son is currently a freshman here, and I have another child who graduated from Payton in 2021. I'm an educator by profession, and I've worked for over 2 decades as a teacher, nonprofit leader, and community organizer. I sat for 10 years on the board of a private, non-traditional high school for at-risk students from underserved communities, and 1 term as an LSC member at my local elementary school. In my time as a private school board member, I was part of a principal search and hiring team, as well as a writer for our school sexual harassment policies. As a current LSC member at the local elementary school, I spearheaded the creation of a volunteer-led daily school ice watch this fall, and have worked closely with my principal in establishing a food pantry for our vulnerable families. I also serve on the CIWP committee in this year's renewal of our continuous improvement plan. With this background, I hope to utilize my experience in service of the Payton community and will champion accountability, transparency, and data-driven evaluations. I believe strongly in soliciting teacher and student input, as they are the bedrock of every healthy educational institution. I'm deeply committed to setting an example of stability, thoughtfulness, and integrity for our students, and elevating the level of informed decision-making here at the LSC. If elected, I pledge to make myself available to members of the parent and student communities as a listening ear and to bring their viewpoints and concerns before the LSC. I believe that our shared values of courage, compassion, curiosity, and character are what can make this school a place of excellence and belonging for all students. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Michelle Paul.
Having my dad video. So can you see me okay
Absolutely,
here?
absolutely.
Thank you. Dear Payton community, hello. My name is Michelle Koch. I am a 2029 parent. I am passionate about school affairs, and I am pledging for your support to become a Payton LSC parent representative. It is my strong belief that schools should fundamentally serve the best interest of the student, and a school is only as good as its students and teachers. I am campaigning positive changes at Payton LSC, specifically open communication, comprehensive representation, and improved accountability. It will be my top goals to promote transparency, to encourage public participation in important school-related decisions, to increase a sense of ownership among all stakeholders, and to ultimately uphold Payton's excellence. I am proactive, dedicated, and objective. I have spent many hours on data analysis in order to understand the unique strengths and potential areas of improvement at Payton. I am open-minded, good at communication, and speak both English and Mandarin Chinese fluently. Most importantly, I dedicate myself to truly listen to my constituents' concerns and vouch to represent the best interest of our students. Thank you very much for your support.
Our next candidate is Lee Green, but he could not be here tonight. Our next parent candidate is Radoslav Garbach. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name.
No, you're good.
So
So good evening, everyone. My name is Radosław Garbacz, and I'm honored to stand here in front of you as a candidate for local school council. Like everyone in this room, my priority is the success and well-being of our students. Whether I'm cheering from the sidelines of a cross-country meet or listening to my kids playing violin at home, it's apologize for this. It's nervousness. I'm constantly being inspired by the incredible dedication and talent of all the students from our school, Walter Payton. In my professional life, I spent over a decade working as a backend software engineer. My daily work revolves around analyzing complex systems and identifying inefficiencies. And this is exactly the analytical and problem-oriented mindset I intend to bring to the local school council. Walter Payton is a complex system, and my goal is to ensure that all the budget and all the resources align perfectly with our students' needs. Our school is an excellent institution. However, maintaining that excellence takes continuous collaborative effort. So if I'm elected, my goal is to ensure that our teachers have resources to innovate, and crucially, that our parents have a transparent and active voice in shaping the future of our school. I believe in a Payton where every Grizzly is fully supported to achieve their highest potential. So I humbly ask for your vote so that I can get to work for our kids.
Thank you.
Our next candidate is Mr. David Cole.
Again, apologize as I.
No, it's not. We're good.
Hello, my name is David Coe. I have a son in the class of 2029, and I'm running for LSC parent representative. I have retired from a career in finance and consulting, and as a retiree, I have the time, the energy, and the desire to commit myself to serving on the LSC. The LSC at its heart is designed to enable participatory democracy. Participatory democracy cannot function to the best of its ability without clear communication, without constant, honest, and open feedback and transparency. As an LSC representative, I would seek to improve the level of communication, dialogue between the students, the LSC, the parents, the faculty, the administration, and the greater community. We need to have better transparency, communication, and feedback in order to ensure that we continue to do the things that make Payton such a special place, and also to be able to make those improvements where necessary to help elevate and improve the educational and developmental experiences of all our students. If you also share my passion for participatory democracy, I respectfully ask that you give me the opportunity to serve as your voice on the Payton Local School Council. Thank you very much.
Our next candidate is Mr. Damon Reed.
How y'all doing today? Okay. All right. My name is Damon Lamar Reed. I have been a full-time artist for 26 years. And with that, I've created over 100 murals in Chicago public schools. I've got to work with students, teachers, principals, community members, all for one common goal: to help beautify the school and to help uplift the students. I'm also a CPS vendor, so I've got to, work with Chicago Public School budgets, and I've written a lot of curriculums and lesson plans to deal with Chicago Public School standards. I'm a leader. I've created over 400 murals in Chicago and around the nation. I've got to work with a diverse group of people, different neighborhoods, businesses, companies, all to help improve neighborhoods and bring joy to people. I'm also a co-founder of the Still Searching Project, where we use art to raise awareness about missing women and children. And through that, I've got to speak on many platforms and organize many events. I'm a father and a husband. I have 2 daughters here at Walter Payton, and I've been married for 20 years. And I think one thing that's important is communication, structure, transparency, and more than just good grades. The Payton students getting good grades is more about them having good character and being people of substance. So all in all, I want to use my creativity to help the students thrive. And the only downfall is I can't make any murals at Walter Payton.
Our next candidate is Laura Hanson.
Hi, my name is Laura Hanson, and I have a freshman here at Payton. I have 2 older sons who also graduated from Payton. One of them already did graduate from college this year, and one of them is a sophomore in college. So just as far as my background, I'm a teacher. I've been in education for over 25 years. I teach currently at Northwestern. I teach in the English department. So I've thought a lot about education and also about sort of building community within the classroom. And as far as LSC work is concerned, I served on the LSC when my older kids were here. So I served on Payton's LSC actually for 6 years, from 2017 or 18 until 2023 or 24. And then I served for a few years at Decatur, where my middle son was in elementary school as well. So I feel like I have a good understanding of kind of what LSCs do. I do take the oversight function seriously. I also think it's really important to sort of come at the work with the idea that we're all working for the best interests of the students. I think that I'm certainly interested in maintaining the kind of academic rigor and excellence, but I also feel like it's really important to think about making sure people feel a sense of belonging at their school and a sense of community. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Suzanne Bish.
You guys are amazing, by the way. I'm very impressed and blown away. Hi, I'm Suzanne Bish. I am honored to be the very proud mom of 2 Grizzlies and have spent a lot of time in this building the last 3 years and am blown away every day by how outstanding our students are, including these 3 who have advocated with such courage and conviction for their peers, as well as all of the excellent teachers. I've been on this is my first term on the LSC. After about a quarter, I noticed we did not have a budget or finance chair, so I volunteered to do that because there were questions raised about resources. And in my first former life, a million years ago, I was a CPA and an auditor. I was also really concerned reading press reports about the huge budget deficits. So I set at work to try and figure out the Byzantine CPS accounting and budget system that changes every year and has new reports. I attended CPS budget meetings, finance committee meetings. I participated in district-wide focus groups and advocated for our school and our students and for selective enrollment schools as there's a bit of a shift from the strategic plan. I worked closely and was grateful to Dr. Shabazz and Ms. Vantui for letting me in on budget meetings. I hope to continue that work because it took me so long to figure out, and I don't want to dump it on somebody else's lap. But this year, have more meetings, kind of informing the community of how the budget and finance process works, and more importantly, kind of soliciting questions and feedback and what people think about priorities in terms of funding. And also explaining ways in which we can all advocate at the state, local level. Wow, 13 seconds. Okay, I want to advocate for a strong community where we have transparency and respect for each other. And I am a civil rights lawyer, so I always lean toward advocating for our most vulnerable populations, and I think that lists everybody up. And I want a community in which we all really, really listen and respect each other and know, as the last speaker says, that we're all fighting for the same thing. Thank you so much.
All right, our next candidate, and I'll make eye contact with you because I don't want to miss him. Mr. Maflan.
Hello everyone, my name is Kairad Mavjankulov. I'm the dad of Amina, Amelia, so I'll repeat it back. Amelia and Mandina, they are twins freshmen. Amina, she's a sophomore. There we go. And hopefully the prospective 2038, my son. Hopefully so I have 4 kids. So like many of you, again, I'll tell in front of the camera. Good evening, my name is Kairat Mavlankulov. I'm a proud Payton parent of 3 daughters. Like many of you, our family chose Payton because of its extraordinary academic strength and its culture of achievement and opportunities it opens for our children. And we are deeply grateful to the teachers and staff who make this possible every year. As a parent, I care deeply about maintaining Payton's academic excellence while ensuring our students continue to thrive both academically and personally. Professionally, I've spent over 15 years working with school finance and facilities planning. I currently lead a nonprofit organization that supports school financing and development through national, but our footprint being a Midwestern. My experience includes overseeing multi-million-dollar budgets, long-term planning, and ensuring that financial decisions align with educational opportunity priorities. The LSC plays an important governance role, approving the budget, supporting the long-term planning, evaluating leadership. I believe I can bring a thoughtful, financially responsible, and collaborative perspective to those decisions. If I elected, my focus will be simple: protect Payton's academic excellence, ensure responsible, transparent budget decisions, maintain safe, well-maintained facilities, strengthen communication between families and school leaderships. I believe the LSC works best when parents, teachers, staff, and administrators work together with mutual respect and a shared purpose. It would be an honor to serve these communities. Thank you.
All right, our next parent rep candidate is Janet Fernandez.
Good evening. My name is Janet Fernandez. I am running for the local school council as a parent because I believe every student deserves a high-quality education in a safe, supportive, and inclusive environment. As a parent, I understand how critical it is for families to feel heard and to play a meaningful role in the decisions that shape our children's education. Parents are essential partners in building strong schools, and our voices matter. As an LSC member, I will advocate for transparency, accountability, and a strong collaboration among leadership, educators, families, and the broader community. I am committed to supporting policies and decisions that promote academic excellence, social and emotional well-being, and equitable access to resources for all students. I bring a parent's perspective, a deep commitment to listening, a strong drive to help create a school environment where every student can thrive, and overall, school performance continues to rise. My goal is to ensure that all students have the guidance, resources, and support they need to reach their full potential. Thank you.
Okay. Can we give a round of applause for all of our parents? We will now move on to our community, our candidates for community rep. Again, the order is in the order in which the application was submitted. Our first candidate for community rep is Sana Ansari.
Okay, so I did debate in high school. I was an English teacher, so I'm going to be fast and succinct. As a dedicated educator and organizational leader with 25 plus years of experience, I know that the school is the heartbeat of the community. The work of educating young people takes heart, it takes commitment, and a strategic focus. As a teacher, instructional coach, central office specialist, assistant principal, and nonprofit executive leader, I have gained some deep insight on what that work looks like at all levels of the educational system and outside of it. As a teacher and educational researcher, I designed and implemented curriculum to support both the developmental and academic needs of students. As a teacher, I was able to ensure academic gains for my students. My research work included the methodological design and implementation of a literacy intervention that supports academic writing and argument-based discourse in the classroom. Additionally, my dissertation research explored the importance of socialization practices and its impact on academic identities, and most importantly, how belonging shapes academic success. As a district instructional specialist, I led the creation of the 9th grade developmental reading course implemented in 43 high schools, which was designed to support literacy and reading in core high school subjects across the disciplines. In my time at central office, I sharpened my competencies for designing assessments, curriculum, and professional development for teachers. I was also able to bring scalable practices to schools and teachers. As a director of a nonprofit that focused on teacher induction, I guided a federally funded innovation study that showed statistically significant gains for students in reading and math. As a network specialist, I led the design and implementation of the network's high school strategy, which impacted 6 high schools, 4,500 students, 87 teachers, resulting in significant gains in PSAT and SAT growth in 6 high schools. I understand the complexities and real problems of practice that exist within our system and have worked to build innovative and sustainable solutions to the work of educating our young people.
I don't know why it's not trying. Because it's each.
Right. Our next candidate for community rep is Zachary Holford.
Pardon me if I speak gibberish. I haven't slept. We just finished a 4-week civil rights trial about an hour ago. So,
got a turn.
There's a camera here now.
We good?
Yeah, good.
How you doing, everybody? It looks like time's really short. Let me just tell you what values I'm motivated by and why I'm here. I'm the grandson of 2 Holocaust survivors who came here after World War II. Started a mom and pop grocery shop on the west side of Chicago. My parents used access to public education to lift themselves out of poverty and instilled values of public education on me. I tried to use my education to go as far as I can in good schools. Ultimately joined a program called Teach for America. Taught 2 years down in the Mississippi Delta. Loved it. Came back here on the west side of Chicago. Taught a 3rd year in CBS, the local charter school network. Loved it. Have since gone on to do civil rights work. But ever since I left the classroom, wanted to stay connected to educational equity, fighting for children, making sure that they have access to an excellent public education. This is why I'm here. Why I've had the pleasure of serving on the LSC for the last year and a half, and I think in terms of going forward, there's a good value in continuity because there's a lot of work that's been done that needs to be followed through on, both in terms of holding the administration accountable to the goals they've set, and also working together to pursue excellence. Obviously, it's a great school, but really making sure that you're constantly striving for excellence and not letting standards fall like gravity. Standards fall unless you keep pushing them up. So my promise is to always be accessible, and I think the last year and a half bears that out. Calls, meetings. It's my responsibility. I view it as to advocate for what's best for kids, and I'm willing to work with anybody to do that. Thank you.
Oh, that worked. I think I turned it down, so turn it up.
Our next candidate for community rep is Chabuzo.
Feel very awkward. Hi everybody, my name is Chabuzo Zabo. I am running for re-election as a community rep because I care deeply about this school and its impact on the neighborhood and the city. I live just a few blocks from here, so Payton truly is my neighborhood school. And my neighbors and I know how lucky we are that Payton draws so many of Chicago's best and brightest students to Old Town as they learn to become leaders. So I see service on the LSC as a way to give back and a way to apply my background and experience working in education into the local school context. This also drives me because I think about my own educational experiences and the strong communities that enveloped the schools I went into and how that shaped my path and enabling me to access top schools in Chicago and eventually Harvard. Something that Payton parents have told me over the last couple of years of being on the LSC is that one of the value adds of a community member is objectivity. We're not shaped by the experiences of a particular student, professional association, or ties to the administration. Frankly, I rely heavily on my parent, faculty, and staff LSC colleagues and the students to get a sense of the school's daily pulse. But I think community reps are uniquely positioned to be independent. And through my dialogue on the LSC, I think I've shown that I can be politically neutral, but not values neutral. I've had the opportunity to serve as secretary this past school year and have worked to ensure that our minutes and decisions are accurate, accessible to the public, and aligned with CPS and state policy. My LSC service has been driven through the lens of evidence, equity, accountability, fiscal responsibility, and student success. And this is stemming from 15 years of local, state, and federal education policy and management experience.
Our next candidate for community rep is Silafon Thamat.
I go by my middle name, it's easier to say. Hi everyone. Some cameras over there. All right. My name is Victoria Tamat. My child will graduate this year, but my desire to serve Payton does not end at commencement, so I am running as a community rep. As a mom of 6, all have been a part of CPS or currently still in CPS. I've spent many years navigating Chicago public schools and advocating for students. And one of my achievements is the CPS Advanced Placement Act, so I'm no stranger to CPS, to listening carefully, asking the hard questions, and working to support school communities. Education is near and dear to me, so when there was a need, I co-founded a school, a private school for the gifted. Serving on the LSC, I have seen firsthand the impact it can have when functioned with purpose, transparency, and accountability. My continued involvement is rooted in service, not self-interest, and a belief that strong schools require engaged and an informed community where all voices are heard. I I am a political refugee of the Vietnam War, so have always used my voice to continue advocating for the little guy, which in this forum, it will be students, teachers, and the greater Payton community. Transparency, for school culture grounded in respect and collaboration. I would be honored to continue serving the Payton community. Thank you.
Our next candidate for community rep is George Kiko.
Good evening, parents, students, teachers, staff, and community members. My name is George Kikos. I'm running to be your LSC community representative because I feel I have the best qualifications for the position and because I'm devoted to serving the needs of Payton. What does a member of the LSC do? Well, all the members work to improve the school budget. They develop and vote on the continuous improvement work plan. They evaluate the principal. My specific role as a community rep would include other duties. My background is in environmental sustainability, which is not just a buzzword, but involves planning for a healthy, viable future. As your community rep, I will look at Payton's long-term integration into the local area and act as a liaison that will utilize local resources to benefit the school. I want to make sure the neighborhood remains invested in Payton's future. My commitment is to see every child succeed, regardless of whether they are all A students or need additional guidance to succeed. I promise to lead with a student-centered approach on the LSC that focuses on students of all abilities. My wife is a special ed teacher here and has worked hard in achieving this. Payton is a pillar in our community. I know there are businesses and residents that have a stake in its continued growth and success. I will work with them to ensure that we keep Payton a distinctive school that makes Chicago proud. So I'm asking you for your vote. Vote for George Kikos on March 18th. Feel free to go and vote early, but you don't need to vote too often. I like Chicago as much as anybody else, but no need to erase that part of our history. Thank you.
All right. And our last candidate for community rep, and I don't want to mispronounce the name, Dean
Faye Liv. That's me. Good evening. My name is Dean Faye Liu. I grew up in China. I earned my PhD in management science from the University of Cape Town in South Africa. Then I taught college in China, then in Canada. Now I run my own IT business. And most importantly, I have 3 kids in CPS schools. So I'm a proud parent of CPS students. I'm running for community representative because I believe responsible, transparent, and accountable leadership is the key to good schools. A good school must always put students first, support teachers, and also take care of families. As an educator, entrepreneur, and a parent, I totally understand the importance of accountability, transparent goal setting, strategic planning. If elected, I'll be devoted to work closely with my fellow council members as well as school leaders to support strong instruction, teacher retention, and also our students' well-being. Well, Payton is a special committee with proud history. It would be an honor to serve our students, our teachers, and our families. So I respectfully asking you guys to vote for me. You will not be disappointed. Thank you for your support.
Can we give a big round of applause for all of our community? So now, I will conduct the ballot position lottery. And we will have one of our student reps. Pull the names. Eeny, meeny, miny.
Maybe you should have, not that you're graduating students, they don't feel pressure.
Yeah,
So that I had to be off the
You guys gonna go to the middle?
Okay.
All right.
All right. You want me to write those down while you got them?
Yeah, I was just gonna write on this.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, I was.
You want some? Perfect. Thank you. You got it.
Okay. Shake it up. Okay. Ballot position number 1.
David Quoth.
Okay.
Got it?
Come on back. You see all these people?
Gotta keep going.
Ballot position number 2.
Laurel Hanson.
Ballot position number 3.
Errol Lee Brady.
Ballot position number 4.
Rishi.
Ballot position number 5.
Alan Hoffman.
Ballot position number 6.
Tracy Winfrey.
Ballot position number 7.
Janet Fernandez.
Ballot position number 8.
Cassie.
Ballot position number 9. Yes.
10?
Ballot position number 10.
It's me.
Yes.
Do we get a
Mr. M.
bottle of water? If I elect it next year, you're all gonna get a bottle of water. Yeah, my book.
Thank you.
Ballot position number 11.
Michelle Quote.
And ballot position number 12.
Suzanne.
What I went 13.
Number 12. And last but not least, thank you. And ballot positions for community rep. All right. Ballot position number 1 goes to
Heather Zimmerman.
Okay. So then.
So we can sit down to the side. No, we'll kill number 1 again.
Victoria.
Ballot position number 2.
Jean Fei Lee.
Ballot position number 3.
George Kikos.
Ballot position number 4.
I'm sorry.
Ballot position number 5.
Zachary Holden.
Okay. I'm sorry. And then last but not least, number 6.
And Shabuza.
Thank you. Each candidate is eligible to submit 3 poll watcher credential forms. I will pass these out to you now. Information outlining all the rules and criteria can be found in the packet. You must turn these in. Let's see, when are these 2? It says each candidate may appoint up to 3 poll watchers, including the candidate, but may have only 1 poll watcher in the polling place at a time. The election will take place here at Payton on March 18th. That is a parent-teacher conference day. So I will pass these out to all right. Did I get everyone? Yes? All right. On behalf of the Payton School community and our local school council, I want to thank you all for your engagement, for wanting to be a part of this really unique process. Chicago Public Schools is the only school district in the country that has a local school council. It's very unique, and it is very important to note that whenever we all work together, great things happen, right? It is the strength of everyone, not just one person. The accountability isn't just on one person or one group of people. We all have to work together to make sure that our schools are as great as we imagine or dream them to be. So thank you so much for your active participation. This will conclude our candidate forum. We will, at 6 o'clock, if it isn't already 6, got a few minute break. We will resume our monthly meeting. You are welcome to stay, but if not, have a wonderful night, and I will see you all soon. Yeah, thank you so much.
Laura, nice meeting you.
Nice to be able to have the rest of the week.
Completely.
How's it going? Chocolate drive?
Laura, great to see you.
Oh, good to see you.
Wow, that's weird. I mean, not weird, but
I don't know why I say too. I mean,
yes, just like
welcome back.
yeah. They're gonna, on the 20th. They're gonna vote on their license. Yeah, like we did it last year. Okay.
That's surprising. You know, when people say something like, oh my gosh, yeah.
They give me the big ones, but I just have to make sure that we got everything is on file so everybody else can get it.
And so, which was like, you know, yeah, I ended up with it was like the
During Paris.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll be fine. And then we're
It's interesting sort of seeing this is how yeah, you too.
Don't hear this a lot. There's like 7 kids. Yeah. Just good. You know, there's like 7 kids. Because nutrition, we talk every day. This is the principal. Because my husband's going to be the judge at Payton LSC. Nutrition. Some of it's just going to be. Yeah, 2 years ago, right? So that's going to be
It's what's ever going around. It's one day of bad and then just like 4 to 5 days of annoying congestion. I had it last week. And that's what was going around that like when I was at the Olympics. It was the same thing. Everyone felt bad for one day. And then the next day they felt better. And then it was like 4 to 5 days of just congestion.
I felt like setting on Friday. I was like, so eat creators. Yes. Yeah, she gave she gave me that
yeah, once I thought I
Good to see you. Good luck. Thank you so much.
So I will say it's my time to graduate for sure. You're forced. He's like, you made me sick again. I was like, good. 2 days after my meeting, I was like, you go. I was like, dude, just I'm being critical. Quincy's from Portugal before, and then I picked up. It was 2 weeks and then I pick him up and I because I go for longer. Lucky child that he is. like, so one of those was back on Thursday. And I was like, and then flight was half day, so I was like, I'm flying out there Monday. Matt and I are gonna do Lisbon on our own, and then we're gonna pick him up. Cause like he's doing Lisbon already, so like he's like, yeah, so we did a little, he's 18, so we did a little 14 days.
Oh, this is great.
So, and the Portugal trip is literally his entire friend.
No, I
was like, Chow's in trouble.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, really? Yeah, so it's like, I was like, if any of your friends would stay, like, they have to get their parents to say, sure. It's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally set on it.
But yeah, so I'm super excited. So Matt and I are doing a little tough tour. Like, we're there. And then, on Saturday, we take the high school train. And then we fly back on Tuesday. Well, we're there for 8 days. Right. But like, he's so
your other boy is earlier.
So he has all his friends that are studying abroad. So he is flying to Edinburgh and then to Paris. And we're talking like 8 or 9 years. Because he's done majoring, he's doing a data science and financial engineering double major. There's an EDA and there's one NE.
We saw it, it's like,
They have some classes.
I think it's just a big not so much.
You're on your own.
Of course, I'll pay. Ready?
All right.
All right, 6:05. We have quorum. We are calling it to order. Lisa, if you would do roll call. Got it.
Okay, Julie?
Here.
Rishi?
Here.
Suzanne?
Present.
Lorianne?
No, she's at a board meeting.
Zach?
Here.
Andon?
Here.
Sonia? Here. Karita? Here. Mary?
Here.
Hero?
Oh, did you say Morale?
Morale.
Oh, here.
Amy? Present. Victoria? Here. Judy? Here. Tremonti?
Here.
You look good. You look like something.
No, not at all.
He's sleeping.
You're doing great.
You look very
I'm just trying to stay awake.
Okay. All right. We have.
Does anyone have some coffee from Zach?
Okay. We need to approve tonight's agenda, so could I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion approved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion carries. And then we need, did we, at the last meetings, which minutes do we have to vote on?
So we are voting on the December 11th special meeting, December 16th regular meeting, and the January 27th regular meeting.
Does anyone have any opposition to putting those all as a clump? Does anyone have any questions or concerns?
I just want to be there as president. I want to
I think you were.
Okay.
I think it's just for roll call, like roll call is roll call, and I think you came in, like I noted when you came in.
Okay, could I get a motion to approve those 3 sets of previous meeting minutes?
Motion approved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion carries. Okay, on to chair report. Very excited for the huge turnout for all the LSC elections. Remember, it is the 18th, correct?
Yes.
18th here at Payton.
6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Bring an ID. Anyone who lives in the our catch basin area can vote. That is if you live Belmont and South, Roosevelt and North, and from the west end to the city, west city limits to the lake. So basically, if you live anywhere between those two and you do not have a student at the school, you can still vote. And then obviously all parents can vote.
And they can vote on parents and community members.
So the way it works is that all community members, anyone who's voting, community voters or parents, can vote for up to 5 candidates. Any mixed match you want. So you can take up to 2 community members and then 3 parent members. You can vote for all 5 parent members. You can do 4 and 1. You can't vote for more than 2 community. And you can't have more than 5 X's on your ballot or else it gets tossed. So if you're a parent, you can, or a community member, you still get your 5 votes.
And students do not vote.
Students do not vote. Yeah, even if they're 18, students are only allowed to vote in student elections. I did ask that. So come out and vote, please. And the year is flying by. By the time we have our next meeting, basically the seniors will have all of their decisions in. So fingers crossed for all of you who have not had your decisions yet. April 1st.
May.
When is that?
March 31st.
I know, but they're basically all, no one releases like past 7 p.m. on March 31st. I've never heard of a school releasing past 6 p.m. on March 31st, so.
We hope not.
That would be craziness. So everyone will. So anyway, fingers crossed to all our seniors. I know early actions have been rolling in and stuff, so, but fingers crossed for all of you. And hope everyone has a fantastic spring break because our next meeting is on the other side of it. At the next meeting, we will certify those election results. And that's all I have. I just want to make an announcement. We will have to move the May meeting because as soon as the seniors and the parents of seniors, their kids graduate, they get kicked off the council. And so our meeting is after graduation, so we need to move it to the week before. So we will deal with that next week. Next month's meeting, we'll vote to change that, but that way, anything that happened, like that you need to vote on May, would just be tight, because you'd be like very tight to quorum if you lose 5 of us. So, we'll add that to next month's agenda.
And it may be a good idea, because we usually do 2 meetings in May to approve the budget. Whenever we have to do a special meeting, it may make sense to put those 2 meetings together so we don't have to do it twice in May.
Yeah.
So once I hear more about when the budget is out and I get the timelines, and we can work around that.
Perfect. That's all I got. Ms. Bentley from FOP needs, what? Oh, okay. Needs to leave early, so we're just gonna have her pop in and do a quick report from FOP.
Hi, yes, thanks. I've got something for my younger. I come bearing very exciting good news is that we have made our annual So we made $600,000 of the $800 that we use to fund disrupting primarily teacher salaries. I think, our annual Kill team worked so hard here at Berrigan and Annie Hesser. I cannot say enough things. They literally treat this and work this like a full-time job. So I am in great debt to them and so much gratitude. And I think, our whole parent community owes them a night out. So that has been amazing. We are now on to the bash. It's going to be April 17th on Friday at Gallery Marquetti. We are selling a lot of tickets, including to incoming families who found out on this past Friday. So my suggestion is, because I even asked them, does this ever sell out? And they're like, but the tables are being bought. I would get tickets now. It's supposed to be a really good time. They've got some great items. Again, working really hard. Both of them are. So that's kind of that angle of it. Socially, we have a senior parent night tomorrow night. We had a freshman moms gathering, and there were over 40 people that came. So I think there's a lot of people wanting to get involved in the community. I think specifically, like I've just noticed the freshman class has been really involved. Socially, we've got that. We're also assisting with some incoming student virtual chats and in person. So tomorrow we'll have some volunteers here for parents that have got admission to the school and found out, so that they can just answer some questions. Mr. Lamb will give a presentation, parents will answer some questions, and I believe some student pals. Volunteering, this is like the crazy time for FOP. So we have volunteering things going on. We're supporting Sweetness Day, the college fair, the underclassmen dance, also starting to work on proctors for AP tests. It is a really busy time. I think our Sweetness Day volunteers are almost full. And so that is huge. I think it speaks so well to this amazing parent community. We're still looking for college fair and underclassmen dance, but I'm so happy, and I think everyone should be. And I think even as a parent of a senior who has to go through college admissions, I have so much hope and positivity in looking to the future for the school, and I'm so proud of our community and what we've done. So thank you guys. I know this is a ton of work, and I know that I value all of the time that you spend doing it. It makes a huge difference. Guys.
Thanks, Beth.
All right. Sorry. Really quick question.
Yeah.
Clarification on students over 18 years old and over. I have here that a person at least 17 years old who reside within the school's attendance area or voting district can vote for parent or community representative. So can I get clarification on that?
Sure. Yeah, I was told that if they're a student at the school, they only voted for students, but I'll get double clarification.
I think that's where the distinction is. So if they're that age but not a student at the school, then they probably can vote.
Okay. Yeah, that was my understanding, is that if they're a student, they can't vote for the parent and community members, but if they're like non-student, then they could. It's like graduated students could, basically.
17 and up students, I believe, can vote as long as they satisfy the geographic
Right. All right, I'll double check.
age.
That was what I was told initially. I will double check for everyone. Okay.
All right, moving on to the principal's report. I will try to keep it short and sweet because I have realized that a lot of what I have to share is picked up in other reports as well. So we'll take a look at our budget in 115. We have $140,902.27. In our 124 account, we have $79,087.76. In our internal accounts, we have $1,660,612.65. Our current attendance as of today is 95.29%, which is higher than where we were last year. Every single grade is higher than where they were, especially our seniors. Give it up for our seniors. They are killing it. They are breaking records.
I feel like surprised.
Senior attendance is at 93.32%. It is the lowest of all the classes, but higher than the class of 25. So well done to the Our freshmen on track as of the end of semester 1 was at 97%. Dropout rate is at 0. Student discipline is at 24%.
Is that attendance?
It's all attendance.
The discipline of
It's all tardy.
Lateness, tardy.
Our current student enrollment is 1,253 students. Incoming freshmen were notified of their admission on February 13th. They are all very, very excited. This year we had over 7,200 applications for 320 seats. We are doing information sessions for new families that will be held this week and next week to answer questions. Ms. Bentley just shared that. The deadlines for acceptance is March 6th. And admitted students, they will be held on April 25th. there's something that I think that I need to say that I think sometimes we miss, right? So the goal of selective enrollment schools and CPS is to support the gifted and talented students that live in Chicago, right? And those students have a lot of options. And I think that it is important that we remember like the focus of our selective enrollment programs and who they were designed for. There's been a lot of conversation about students in the suburbs who are taking tier 4 seats and who are moving into the city. It happens. We get a lot of that. We get a lot of students who are accepted that don't live in Chicago. We get a lot of students who are accepted who come from private schools, right? We do not have a CPS to CPS feeder. But it's because we are the best at what we do in educating gifted and talented students, bar none, hands down. We do it very, very well, mainly because our village is so tight. And when I say our village, I mean our parents, our teachers, our school leaders, our community. Everybody is all hands on deck to make sure that those students have everything that they need. So I want to just put that out there because in the suburbs, they don't have selective enrollment high schools. You go to whatever large comprehensive high school is zoned to your neighborhood and everybody just kind of works together. And I think that, you know, a lot of parents are choosing to actually move to Chicago so that they have an option for their child to be in a school like Payton where they know that the academics are top notch, where the teachers are always innovating, and where their students have a space where they feel like they're committed and they belong. We already heard, does it make sense to everybody? Yeah, I think sometimes we kind of forget about that. So that's what makes it so competitive. We already heard about the annual appeal. We're really excited about that. I think the spring bash is going to sell out. I know it's going to sell out. It is the best party. We throw the best school party. It is a lot of fun. Get your tickets now. I don't want you to have FOMO. Because we'll all be talking about it. Courses and content. Course selection for SY27 has begun. Students are currently meeting with their counselors to select courses. It is ongoing every day. The library is also our counseling hub. You can see students going in and out, meeting with their counselors, selecting their courses. If you are a parent, I'm sure you have already had those conversations with your student about classes for next year. Make sure they complete that worksheet and you sign off on it. Our ILT will be visiting classrooms next week, intending to discover trends in student agency and independence across all subjects and grades. Their insight will inform future instructional priorities and professional development design, and in particular, the effective instruction component of the CIWP for 2027-2029. Now, we'll have to say, I have to tip my hat to our instructional leadership team. They have done a tremendous amount of work in creating a very robust rubric with look-fors and critical attributes about what student agency looks like in the classroom. And now they're going to take that rubric and they will be visiting classrooms to see what student agency looks like. We've had a lot of conversations in the ILT about why student agency is important. Student agency is important because these are one of the professional life skills that you will need. You will need to know how to advocate for yourself. You will need to know how to negotiate. You will need to know how to ask for what you need, right? And these are all skills that we are teaching while they're in school in addition to their content and their typical coursework. We're also doing a lot of work with our CIWP development, and that is underway. Mr. Castellez is the lead on that. He has been working really, really hard to gather feedback of what our new priorities should be. We've spoken with teacher and faculty teams around the school, saw feedback from staff, and even interviewed parents. Additional conversations are being planned, including with student leaders. The next time the LSC meets, the CIWP will be close to completion with priorities and strategies more clearly defined, and we will share an update at that time. We know that when we approve the budget, we'll also approve the CIWP and our foundation areas or our priorities.
Dr. Shabazz, does that mean we're going to get a draft of it after you all feel comfortable with it?
Yes.
Well in advance of that meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep. Last month I talked about our pre-ACT recognition program. This is new. You might, if anybody's reading the Post, you might have seen a story of sophomores who received a distinguished award. We just got a really big delivery for all of our freshman students who have been recognized by the ACT. 94% of the class has been recognized. That is 297 students. There are 3 categories: distinguished, rising scholars, and early scholars. We're gonna have those students come down. We're gonna have them pick up their certificates. They also sent like a really nice lapel pin that the students can have. So we'll have them come down and pick those up to celebrate their achievements. We will be using that information to motivate students to continue to do well on the exams, and we're also using that data and looking at those standards to make sure that students are using those high leverage standards to move students forward even more.
Dr. Schmutz, can I ask a question? So in the Pulse, you have the sophomores, correct?
They sent the sophomore awards first.
So those sophomores that were recognized, was that the distinguished 97 percentile?
So they sent the distinguished sophomore group. They just sent a small group from last year, and then they sent a big package of all the freshmen.
Okay, so that's 97% are involved, and those were like almost 20 kids or so.
Yep.
Oh, great. Thanks.
No problem. Okay, real quick. Athletics, we are rocking and rolling. Chess team placed 3rd in state. We're excited about that. Girls basketball advanced to the state regional championship. Boys basketball starts their state competitions tomorrow. And Scholastic Bowl will advance to the state finals next month. Our new bus has arrived. We are excited about that. It took a while. Our bus's name is Jackie. Because it's number 42. So we affectionately named our bus Jackie after Jackie Robinson. Right now, Jackie is getting a facelift. We should be able to pick her up on Friday. She's been dropped off. She's getting wrapped. That's going to be wonderful. So everybody will know that we are winning on wheels when we're rolling down the street.
Dr. Shabazzi, can I just?
14,000.
Nice. Yep. And just for clarification, is this the bus that FOP funded years ago?
Yes, this is the bus.
So no Payton money was used.
No Payton money. So
FOP, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So really quick story. So we've been having issues with busing and transportation for years, like ever since COVID. Because we lost bus drivers. This was a nationwide issue. A lot of buses were not vendors anymore. It's very, very tight just across the district. We're having issues with busing. And because of that, anybody who understands economics and supply and demand, the pricing to go from here to there has increased exponentially, right, over the years. It's been very expensive. So FOP, I worked with FOP, and we were like, let's get a bus. Let's see if we can secure some transportation. And we did a special fundraising effort just for the bus and transportation. When we reached out to CPS to say, hey, they were like, hey, we don't have any buses. It takes a while. They kind of build them from scratch as they're ordered. They're built to order. And they were behind. Everybody remember after COVID, we had like supply chain issues and factory issues and things like that. So we said, hey, let's get a Sprinter van. It was cheaper. We were like, this is just a faster way to kind of get to it so we can kind of plug this hole and save some money. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get insurance on the Sprinter van. I'm a mother, I am the principal. We are not riding anybody's child in a vehicle without insurance. So the dealer bought the van back. We got all of our money back, and we put it back into the account. And then we were back on the waiting list for CPS. CPS reached out and said, it's time, send us the money tomorrow. So we had to send the money, and then we had to wait for the bus to be built. And then they called and they were like, it's here, we'll drop it off tomorrow. And I was like, really? Are you serious? So it was really, really exciting. They surprised me. I didn't really have a timeline, but so happy that it's here. We're gonna save a lot of money. We're gonna be able to get a lot of things done. And a delay is not a denial, right? We might not understand why things are working the way they are in the moment, but everything works out the way it's supposed to. So really, really excited about that.
Dr. Shabbat, just in terms of drivers, how will that work?
Yep, that's a great question. So our drivers are insured. They have to fill out a form and they have to submit their license. And then they go through like a background check, make sure they don't have any issues on their driving record. And then we have a list. So CPS has that list of drivers who are part of our insurance. We don't pay for the insurance. It's all covered by CPS, all that. The district has fueling stations who do that, right? Like, so everything, yeah, we are legit, okay?
Go Jack.
Go Jack. So we are really excited, but that's how it works. And we can rotate drivers off. So what we do, like some of our smaller teams, you know, they want to use the bus. You know, math team is already like, when can we get to the bus? So different trips here and there, we will make it work. But we already have our coaches and stuff who are in line for spring. And then when fall comes around, we'll have a new cycle of coaches. Does that make sense? Yeah, that was an excellent question. Okay. DECA, we have the only DECA team in the city. I'm really excited about that. DECA is all about like entrepreneurship and finance. This is the first year we've had that team. This team has done tremendously well under the direction of Mr. Dietrich, and they are going to state competition next month, which is held here in Chicago. Debate team start their state competitions next week. 5 Essential Survey is open and we close on March 13th. Sweetness Day is next week, y'all. Can you believe it? Next Wednesday is Sweetness Day. If you are interested in chaperoning, you can register through FOP. Payton Global Connections. This year we are traveling to 6 countries: Belize, Spain, Lisbon, Paris, Costa Rica, and Rome. All trips will start next month, with the exception of Costa Rica. They go in May. And this year our choir is also traveling to Los Angeles. I hosted a principal forum, Payton Perspectives. It was held on February 3rd. 5 students were in attendance. Our Student Voice Committee, that information was shared via email with all students. The first meeting was held on February 12th. 1 student attended. The next meeting is on this upcoming Thursday. It got cut off. Thursday is the next meeting. We continue to have facility updates and meetings weekly on Tuesdays. We are still doing reach observations. All teaching positions are currently filled. Ms. Hicks is on maternity leave, and Ms. Hyder will be going out on maternity leave next month as well. We have already hired a math teacher for her replacement. The next Principal Director Professional Development Day is March 17th. We had our PD Day on February 17th, and it was a full day. This year we are talking about habits, how to build better habits as adults, and how those habits impact our professional lives and our personal lives. And we talked about identity. What is our identity and how identity impacts habits? So just like a really quick example that we share with teachers, we always use identity. Oh, I'm not good at math. Oh, you know, I don't really dabble in dancing, you know. But if you want to pick up a new habit, you kind of own that, right? Like, if I want to start working out more, it's like, I'm an athlete, you know? And this is what athletes do. Athletes get up, they exercise in the morning, they drink their water, they do all those important things. So we started to talk about what is our identity as a school, as teachers, and how do we step into those really strong habits. We also had, she's going to talk about it already now. I'll leave that for the teachers. We had a special presentation. And then on March 31st, there's a National Board Teacher Certification Recognition Celebration. And Ms. Hyder and Ms. Smith will be recognized as our newest National Board Certified teachers. So just upcoming events, Sweetness Day next Wednesday. Underclassmen dance, March 14th, that's on a Saturday. Election Day is the 17th, that's no school for students. It is a professional development day for teachers. Parent-teacher conferences are on the 18th, that is also the day of local school council elections. We have a seminar day going into spring break on the 20th. That is the day of the student LSC election. Spring break will be March 23rd through the 27th, and then there's no school on April 3rd. The school year is on skates, friends. It's going really fast and it's going to get really busy. So don't be like your principal. Take care of yourself and get some rest.
Shabazz, how many people are on the student voice committee?
So the student, there isn't anybody on the student voice committee.
Okay, so this
It's just an open invitation, yep. So we'll keep meeting until we kind of like get a flow and we have more students. Yep. Thursday. And all the students can see the classes in Selenium. They can register in Selenium. Yep. We'll send a reminder email.
Sorry for these are all like outside. Okay.
Yep.
And the student forum, how did that go?
I think it went really well. We had 5 students show up. I thought it was going to be a lot of students. I thought it was going to be a town hall. We originally scheduled it for one of the cafeterias, but when I checked who signed up, there were only 5, so we just met in my office. It was very intimate. Yep, it was during enrichment. It was very intimate. I got some feedback from students. They asked me to possibly offer it on a different day and see if we can get more students in. But we talked about the budget. They had an opportunity to ask a lot of questions, and I think they got a really good understanding of how some things work. So,
Just a question about, so just looking here, that there was just one student who was on the student voice committee. Have you received any questions from students, or have you all, has anyone been talking about interest in joining the student voice committee?
I would say not really, because a lot of people already have commitments on that same day, so they can't really go, but they know that it's there if they do want to show up and ask questions.
Yeah, I also think just because it was recently formed, maybe we need to get the word out there a little more. I think there will be more people who would want to attend the WIS committee. So maybe like in the next few weeks, just like promoting it more, can probably have more attendance.
and I'll provide updates to the LSC after every. I'll say, this is how many students came. I'll share the agendas. We'll give updates. So yeah.
What do you guys think are the best ways to promote it?
Some of the ways we kind of promote like things like for clubs, like posting flyers. We also have like the PM post, which I'm pretty sure Dr. Shabazz did post in there.
So also like social media as well helps a lot.
I would say like the morning announcements maybe like on the same day, just like make sure to check on people or something.
Yeah. I think it is hard, like they all sort of have their enrichment set, like what they go to, and a lot of them are like scholastic teams or clubs that like they're like well entrenched in, so it's sometimes hard to like get movement. I think probably there'll be a lot more movement potentially in the fall, like as it starts up and it's a little bit more well known and whatever. I think.
So we'll keep having it. We'll keep offering.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and I know you guys have spread the word that it's such an important opportunity, to be able to communicate with the administration. So I hope they find a way to take advantage of that opportunity. I mean, Julie's right, that they have their enrichment set. I think towards the end of the year, there are some that tend to,
Start to
finish.
fall off or
So
finish, yeah. Yep.
hopefully they'll have a little bit more flexibility.
Yep.
But hopefully they make it a priority to come. They really should.
Yeah, and I'll be able to make it like every Thursday because I have National French Society, so I can't do it because that's like a time and space. But I'll be able to be there like every other Thursday. That's great.
I also think I don't think it's a terrible thing that we have that meeting by, like that is an opportunity for a real conversation as opposed to, I think sometimes it's a little intimidating if it's a big crowd. So, thank you.
Also, another suggestion, because I'm pretty sure clubs, they kind of promote themselves at Admitted Students Day, if that hasn't already passed. Maybe we can like post like,
that's a good idea. A table for student voice committee.
To see like any freshman wants to be involved.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Speaking of tables at Admitted Students Day, it's not in my report, but I did meet with our friends at After School Matters right over here this week, and we do have a partnership with them. And we also talked about them coming in and setting up a table during Admitted Students Day to get the word out about the many opportunities and activities that are available through After School Matters. They are really excited to partner with us. We talked about them probably doing some seminars, like some seminar offerings in the fall. I'm not sure if you all are aware, but they have a whole culinary lab over there. It's fantastic, right? So just a lot of ways for students to get engaged. They're doing like a spring break opportunity. I think all those seats are full, but as we get more information from After School Matters, we'll be sharing that a lot because it's literally like 20 steps to the west. Yep.
Any other questions? All right, Budget Chair.
I would like to have a meeting, I will float some dates just prior to the big budget crunch to remind everybody what the budget process is and see if we can kind of, I don't know if there will be funds, but if people feel strongly about funding priorities to kind of provide some forum to hear them.
All you have to do is get an agenda. I mean, obviously, you want Dr. Schwaz or involved, but once you get a date, just as long as it's posted 48 hours, just let us know. And you just, it has to be posted at the school 48 hours ahead of time. And then you can send an agenda to Mr. DeBoer and Mr. Irby, and they'll post it on the website for us.
Come run tech for me.
What?
So are you going to come run tech for me, Julie?
I'm getting a little senioritis, so we'll see.
Come back to us.
Suzanne, do we have an ETA on when we might have some idea from CPS when the budget might be released?
I haven't heard anything. It's supposed to be in April or May, but last year it was in yeah.
Do we have a city budget yet?
We have a city budget, yeah.
So,
just starting.
It's
CPS.
yeah, we're just starting. So
Maybe the next meeting we'll have some more insight about.
yep.
All right.
What I'll do is when I hear about the budget, I'll just send an email to the LSC to say, hey, we just got an update today. Budgets will be released, and here's a timeline. I'll just send y'all out a separate separate emails. We don't have to wait until the meeting to hear about it. How's that sound? All right. We have 3 fundraisers that need approval tonight. The spring formal of student government. They are hoping to fundraise $4,500. It will be on March 14th. That's the underclassmen dance. It's going to be at Radisson Blue Aqua downtown. There will be a baseball clinic hosted by the baseball team. They're hoping to fundraise $1,500, and that will be on March 15th. And then our cultural fair. There are lots of different clubs here. They have all submitted their forms, and that will be on April 17th, and they are hoping to raise $100. There are no check requisitions, and there are no contracts to be signed. Can I have a motion to approve the fundraisers as presented?
Motion to approve the fundraisers as presented.
Second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion carries.
I will also pass out all of the reports, and then that concludes my report.
Good.
Yes.
Oh, a quick question. For the cultural fair, is it $100 per club, just for clarification, or for all clubs in total?
Let's just say per.
Okay.
Because they're varying amounts on here. Yep.
Okay, teachers.
But 100 is the max, so.
Okay, so some general happenings. The PD Day last Tuesday, we focused on a lot of data.
so much data.
We were busy.
To give you kind of an idea, we looked at some 9th grade data, so there was a share out for an update for the FST to the whole staff. So it was nice to have that kind of line of communication. We looked at some pre-ACT data. We kind of explored some data analysis tools with that. And then the 5 essentials, looking more at like how it is constructed, and how how it works on their end as well as on it. And then more data. We did more of like a deep dive into kind of 4 main categories: grading, attendance, and absenteeism, misconduct, and then grade level reports. And each of those 4 categories is rich on its own. And so there was a lot of discussion. I feel like we could have talked forever about what we were looking at. So it was a bummer because we obviously, I think, to Dr. Shabaz's points, we don't get to see one another too often during principal directed time, and so I feel like that conversation towards the end of the day, we didn't get to finish it, and so kind of left like a cliffhanger. So I think we'll be able to kind of get back to that when we see one another, I believe, on the 17th, Dr. Shabazz.
Yes.
But like Dr. Shabazz mentioned, we have a lot of really great opportunities to just meet, have conversations, and do a lot of data analysis. And we got to learn how to utilize, I don't know how to use Notebook LM, so it's a great thing to just talk to. Thanks, Mr. Araby, for teaching us how to utilize Notebook LM and have it kind of do some of the analysis work, but also apply some of that analysis work and use that to impact our teaching practice a little bit deeper. So I think, that's one thing I'm looking forward to be able to talk about when we meet next at whole school. Yeah.
Were there any findings that you came away with from the data analysis?
Well, we haven't been able to really we talked about just some trends that we were able to see with some of the 9th and 10th graders in terms of some student performance and some outliers. We won't speak to it too much just because I don't have the data in front of me right now, but we kind of use those to inform so we used the AI to kind of help us try and figure out how do we then tailor to those specific maybe skill gaps in our content area. So for instance, I utilized a command to okay, so I teach AP US Government and Politics, how could I address these specific skills that this student is struggling with in my class? And so it gave all of these different suggestions on how to potentially integrate these different types of skill focus, and here are some suggestions that you might want to do in your AP Gov class. So it was pretty So we didn't get a lot of time to be able to talk about that, but it was just a really nice opportunity to start having conversations around that. Just to see current data. Yes. Another update, quarter grades are due next week. Yay! That's kind of wild. And students say it's on Wednesday. And the other nice thing was for Valentine's Day, the parents brought in some
Thank you.
Yummy treats. It was a lovely little surprise. Thank you. Cheesecake for lunch. And then as far as FST is concerned, I'll kind of skip around a little bit. We were reviewing the quarter 3 slump trend. And a positive note is that it decreased by 2% from last year. And one of the things to combat that is this 3-week data collection thing that we're doing right now. We're in the middle of it right now. And the purpose is to measure that sense of belonging factor that we've deemed kind of curiosity, like, almost the only factor, with these slumps that we see, in various freshman classes. So we're beginning to expand beyond math and science. And so once that data collection is done, we're gonna spend the next meeting, looking for trends, for the strengths, where are areas for growth. And with that said, like, even though we're able to collect some data in other disciplines, we're looking for some more members from specifically English and social studies to join the FST, just so that we can get a more comprehensive perspective on freshmen. It's really difficult with our enrichment schedule and our department meeting schedule, so it's kind of a scheduling Tetris thing. But I'm growing.
Maybe just a question. So you're collecting the data right now to measure sense of belonging, but it kind of matches the same time period that you saw that 14% increase.
Yeah, so that 2% that we're looking at is kind of what we've had of quarter three so far. And so we've been in this 3-week data collection. I think this is the last week of the 3. And we're using that, which is a cyclical thing, which is the main point of that. It's I don't know if I talked about this last time, but it's like a 2-minute exit survey that we didn't create. It was the U Chicago Consortium that created that based off of a bunch of their own research. But if that same exit ticket is given, on the same class, same period, over X amount of weeks, right? What are the trends that we can see? Like, oh, this week there was an increase in so-and-so's class of feeling like their voice was valued. So it's helpful for the individual teacher, and the results are all anonymous. We're only identifying it based on, well, I know I gave it like a period, 4th period kind of thing. So it's only effective if we administer regularly. Yeah. So hopefully we get some good insight from that.
I can speak to some of our PLC work. So we had a meeting on the 18th after our early release day. I think people might have been a little, I don't want to say peed out from the day before, which is why we might have not had as many people there. But alas, there were some. So we took the time to just try and focus on narrowing what work we really want to do on the PPLC. And so we discussed like what are some of the main goals for the PPLC. And so we conducted a survey and sent it to staff members and asked for some suggestions. So in addition to the work that the ILT is currently doing, what are some professional development opportunities that you would like to see brought here to Payton? So we kind of talked a little bit more about that. We also wanted to have conversations around zooming in on one particular component of CIWP, and so I appreciate the fact that Dr. Shabazz mentioned that the ILT is kind of like finalizing the CIWP and the work of the ILT, so that we can kind of see like what is being done, and then we can kind of build off that work, and also not overlap, or we kind of want to just don't want to have there you go, yes. But we do appreciate Dr. Shabazz has invited members of the PPLC to actually come to an ILT meeting, so we are very excited to be a part of that work and be involved in those conversations around curriculum and instruction. And so I'll hand the rest off.
Yeah, so in addition to like that, the CIWP focused component, I'm very passionate about this, I feel like I'm championing the Grizzly Tots initiative to occur the week of April 6th. And that was the informal peer observation that we had done last year that I feel like was well received, and if more staff members can participate in that, I don't see any downside. And there's also a bunch of ties in what we're doing right now with disciplinary literacy and conversations that are just happening organically, horizontally and vertically, even within departments and across departmental. So it's just incredibly valuable watching your colleagues do what they do. Because even though it's all teaching, right? We're all teachers in a very different way, a very different content. But I can still learn a lot from that, from those differences. So we're gonna try and do that the second week after spring break. I feel like that's a decent time because there's a lot of stuff going on in April, but that's the time. And then we're gonna try and meet regularly the first non-seminar Wednesday of every month. So we're gonna try for March 11th next for our next meeting. On to the Sanctuary Committee. So just as a reminder, we've been meeting bi-weekly for the last couple of months just to address just what's going on with ICE. And this is a team that is comprised of teachers, administrators, counselors, security, and our amazing students here at Payton. Communities United, which is a community organization here in the city, actually came to train the Sanctuary team on students during an enrichment period. And then, so we kind of like planned out our professional development that we were going to administer to staff during our PD day. And so we thanked our lovely administration for giving us the opportunity to be able to do that, given that we had a lot of time constraints. And so we were just happy with the 30 minutes that we got. And we got an overwhelming amount of positive feedback from staff members on our Know Your Rights training. We had 3 students show up on a day where students did not have to be here in the building. And so we were very happy that students were here just to be able to be a part of that work. And so I want to give kudos to the students. Yes, thank you, students. And so if you flip over, you can kind of see, I wanted to make sure to put it out there so you all can just see the work that the students have been putting in. So last week, very hectically here in the library, we were utilizing the bins that are typically utilized for testing to essentially put all of our materials in for our Sweetness Day activity. And so our advisory bins are still being organized and they are almost finalized. Tomorrow we are going to be finalizing them during Seminar 1. Sonia is a part of this work. We are going to be doing this during our LAC session 1. And we have an estimated 2,500 Know Your Rights kits that will be created during our Sweetness Day of Unity. That is the goal. And we have gathered materials. We have printed stuff. Students have been cutting stuff. And I mean, you name it. We've been just working really, really hard. And the students, I mean, like students from LAC, from Allies and Immigrants, students from the ACLU, I mean, the amount of hours that they've put in to just making this day happen. I mean, we are very excited for what is going to happen next week here in our school building. And so our plan is to send staff all of the content materials. So when I say content materials, we're talking about the PowerPoint and just like instructions on how to carry out the lesson and a Google form if they have like any questions, concerns, or they're like, I don't know how comfortable I feel with doing this lesson. We're sending all of that out by Friday. That is the goal. And here you can kind of see just pictures. I wanted to take pictures just to show everyone this is what we're doing. So the first picture is just people, like everyone who's been a part of the work. That's students and members of the the sanctuary team getting a taste of the Know Your Rights training, and then students from LAC starting to organize. There's been, so I was the one who was leading the, I would like to call it the organized chaos. And so I just want to put the work that everyone has been doing out there and just say thank you to our students and to our staff and our sanctuary team. And we are very excited for what's going to happen here next week.
How are they going to distribute the kits?
So they're all in bins. So when we conduct testing here at Payton, we have these, they look like post office bins, kind of like, and so like what you use to like carry the mail. They're right there actually, you can see them. And so we have all of the materials. We've literally counted out all of the materials by hand. There's 45 of everything. And so essentially the goal is we're finalizing like whether or not we want to hand deliver them to advisories, or if we want to have advisors actually send down a representative to come down either here or a centralized location to get their materials.
So it's for students?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or were you asking about like what happens with it afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, like,
yeah. So that's actually a part of the action. So one of the actions are for students to actually determine what they're going to do. So they're either, so if they're leaving, so like for instance, my students, we are going to go do service at Disney Magnet over there off Marine Drive. And so the goal is for a group of my students in my advisory, they have to determine, like look at a map, Google map, and say like, okay, we're going to be going to Disney Magnet. We have to look at maybe some of the businesses that are over there by Disney Magnet. Let's figure out where we can go and ask like, hey, can we drop off some of these Know Your Rights kits here? So like that's a part of the action too, is developing a plan.
What grade is that each at?
All of the grades.
And are they going to start with the Know Your Rights? Like
Yes, so we have a
PowerPoint
training,
and
yes.
then put it together and then
Yep.
put it out for you. That's amazing. I'm so impressed. That's terrific work by all of you. Thank you.
And that is our teacher.
Awesome. All right, students. Oh, sorry.
Okay. For the student report, I guess starting with some student life updates. So the annual National Honor Society Spring Blood Drive will be taking place on March 9th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the second floor East Atrium. So posters for the annual blood drive and information regarding that is found around the school, and it can also be found in the Payton Pulse. And so if you're a student, faculty member, community member, or parent who meets the eligibility requirements for a donor and you want to donate blood, please fill out the required information and the flyers to make a donation appointment. And also next week on Wednesday is Sweetness Day, and students should find out more information about their advisory projects tomorrow during seminar. And this month is Black History Month, and so the Black Student Union is hosting a Spirit Week, which is this week. And Monday they had Whiteout. Today was Blackout, so you see most of us were wearing black. Today was also the Black History Month Compass, so there was a lot of great performances, spoken words, and there was raps. And it was a great experience. We learned a lot about Black History Month and what it represents. And Thursday will be Throwback Thursday, and Friday is Dressed as a Famous Black Figure. And this past weekend, Payton's Model UN team hosted the 21st Model UN Conference at Payton, which is the largest Model UN conference in CPS history and school history. So,
And then moving on to the Scholastical, the varsity team won one of their competitions at their sectional tournament.
And then the chess team finished third at the IHSA state finals and first in the division of 3A schools. And then I would would like to also just add on a quick shout out to Amina for her admirable admission and dedication to study the first DECA chapter at Payton and CPS.
And then moving on to student government. Student government has started conducting their quarterly advisory visits on seminar days, and this is when representatives from each grade go and brief students on any questions they may have about what they're doing. We also completed our public grant cycle for the next school year, and we're able to give out almost full grants to 16 out of 18 eligible clubs.
And then for student feedback form, we actually had a question. It was, do students still have to pay for the AP exams even if they don't want to or will not show up to take the test in May? The short answer is no. Admin has already informed us, and I quote, that all AP students are required to take the exam for each AP course in which they are enrolled in. This was also communicated early on in the school year via email in relation to the AP fee situation. And because exams were ordered at the beginning of the school year and Payton is billed for all the exams, there's no way to remove an AP exam from the student's asking account. Additionally, students have had the opportunity to change their schedules and drop AP courses if they were not interested in the class or the exam. And then lastly, as a last resort, if students want to, they can cancel their scores through the College Board website using their account, as long as they request it by June 15th. And essentially what that does is that College Board won't send that score to the university or the person that you assign to receive your score at the receiving year.
Wait, does that mean that the short answer is yes?
Yeah, the short answer is yes. Yes, the short answer is yes.
Because they've already billed pre-order.
But if we still have for the AP exams, if for financial hardship, there's a process by which those can get paid.
Right, CPS has already sent us the list of the students who are eligible for a waiver.
Yeah, and a lot of like the students, I mean, like they say like they don't want to take the test, but I know a lot of teachers will say, well, if you don't take the test, you're going to take a final. So like your option is one or the other. So I know from a previous senior I may have parented did not want to take one of his because it wasn't going to count in his school. And he was like, well, you can take final or you can take tests. It's like, well, I'll take the test. Yeah, you can take something. So.
Just with the waiver, you said that CPS sends you a list of the eligible students, and then are those, do you then, like, does the school then notify the students, or do they already?
Yep, so we went through the process of adding, so students who are ineligible, we've already added those fees to their account. And then students who are eligible for a waiver, we've already notified them that they're eligible. In the spirit of transparency, we don't want to get into an issue where students are not taking their AP exams, right? Because that will affect our school rating, okay? We have very high advanced placement participation. So as students are going through their course requests, we're telling them, like, if you want to take 5 AP classes, you're going to take 5 AP exams. And now there's a cost for those exams. We're being very, very transparent about it. I know previously that CPS was covering the cost of all of the exams. Due to budget constraints, we can no longer do that. But if we just have attitude like, I just want to take the class, I don't want to take the exam, that AP participation will tank, and that is a metric for school ranking. So if we have to keep all expectations high around not only taking the course and doing well in the course, but also taking the exam and doing well in the exam. There's also opportunity through our Payton Pathways program where those AP exams that students are taking can be converted to college credit through City Colleges of Chicago. We are running an analysis and we are already having conversations with students who are taking all the exams to say, hey, this AP class will count for college credit, this type of college credit, so that students can get as close to the associate's degree as possible, right? We're working with them, and that is something that they're doing through the state so that we can convert those credits. So, and the better a student does on the exam, the more college credit they get, right? So, you just want to take the exam and abracadabra all the way down. You're not going to get the college credit for it, right? But if you get a 4, you'll get a certain amount of credits. If you get a 5, you get a certain amount of credits. And we are having one-on-one conversations and pulling students in about that opportunity. So, We just want students to put their best foot forward, show what they know, take the exam. We know that this new fee change has taken folks by surprise because it's been a few years since we charged. But this is one of the things that CPS decided that we would have to do due to the funding gap. That makes sense.
Yeah, and remember, this is like a reinstatement of charging.
Right.
This
they used
this
to
isn't
charge.
brand new. It was like until the pandemic you paid, and then it was from the pandemic till now that. So it's
Because
like
we had
reinstatement.
ESSER funds, we had additional federal funds to help cover those costs.
Also,
Yes. I get that.
Because the teachers also want to see, I mean, it's also a test of how effective the teacher's instruction is as well, based on how well the students do on the AP exam.
Yeah, and even my son who didn't want to do it, then went out and got a 5 on some test. So like,
doing
they're well
good.
prepared. They just take the test.
Yeah, take the
You're well prepared.
has there been, like, it sounds like maybe there's been an increase in students not wanting to take it, or?
No, I just think that it's a question primarily probably with seniors.
Yeah.
Who have a mix of like senioritis, and senior year is very expensive between
They
like
already
college.
know where they're going to college.
Yeah,
so.
they know they're going to college, they kind of have it, yep. So this is your commitment to pay, right?
I think the biggest issue is the seniors who certain colleges don't take certain exams, and so like if you go to a college where like you're in environmental science, AP environmental science, and even if you get a 5, you get no credit at the college you're going to attend to, they're like, ugh, do I really have to take the exam? But the answer is yes. You do. So I think that's sort of like the biggest, it's not usually the juniors and sophomores, it's usually the seniors who have already figured out where they're going to college, and that particular class is not accepted for credit at their college is usually, I think, the biggest one.
And they probably take the most AP courses.
Okay, we already did FOP. I don't think we have anyone from boosters. No. Okay. We'll move on to unfinished / older business. We had voted on the date tonight for the candidate forum. We were waiting to see if they had updated the certification dates, which they did. So our next meeting on March 31st is within the certification date range. So I am making a motion to vote to certify the LSC election results during our meeting on March 31st, if I can get a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, that carries. So we will add that to the agenda for March 31st. And then we will move on to new business. Ms. Bish had wanted to discuss starting a sort of a Payton culture subcommittee, LSC subcommittee, to kind of just discuss all things like Payton parent feelings, how things are going, etc. That's because really only our subcommittee is the finance. So I will give you the floor.
Sure. I have this idea for a few reasons. One was I've always been struck when Ms. Cedar talks about how important a sense of belonging is, and that being a key factor for success or sometimes falling off for freshmen and sophomores as a predictor. And then just for some of the concerns, and I think some of the students and parents, I think we want to make sure that this is a welcoming, respectful, safe forum where everyone has an opportunity to be heard, and to learn how to sit together and be really form the hard art of listening and be cooperative. So I guess I would move to, and I've been thinking about a little bit, and I think that those are maybe two distinct groups. I don't know if they have to be two committees or but something like a school culture and unity committee. So with the goal to improve communication and to promote a welcoming, respectful community where in a forum where everyone can be heard with the goals of meeting, I guess, quarterly, of opening up for our committees. I know we can open gonna maybe have members from the community who aren't on the LSC, members from the student body who aren't on the LSC, which might allow, lower grades and things to be included as well. For those reasons, and what I'm a little less clear about is, just that two separate committees because they might have concerns and not necessarily feel comfortable in the same committee, or subcommittees of.
I would say let's keep it to one committee, only that like we're talking about meeting and trying to get people in one place and it's just hard. So I would say let's start with one and see how that goes. Sure. That would be my suggestion, just because everyone, so as not to like take things out too much.
Is this a parent belonging committee?
I would love for it to be both, for a parent, guardian, and a student.
Okay. But as an LSC subcommittee, correct?
As an LSC committee, yeah.
Is there any samples that we're aware of?
I think Lane Tech has one, Whitney has one, Jones has one. They actually established them in the bylaws, and I think they have a school life committee, they have a parent community committee. I think because this is our first time, I think I would propose, like, let's just try it and see before we write anything into the bylaws, or, but if we have the opportunity even to have kind of a test run and see have it be a little bit more organic and see what the people who are involved kind of want it to be. But I think it would be an opportunity for students and families to discuss the school culture and values and areas for growth, maybe to recommend initiatives that celebrate, with the goal being inclusion, and the goal being maybe, we definitely see, I think there's a lot of involvement, but it tends to be kind of some of the same faces. But I want to make sure we have a place where everyone feels welcome.
So my other kind of question and comment on that, I think it sounds awesome, but is that, are we stepping on FOP toes? Is it in LSC really, like LSC's budget, CIWP, and principally though, right?
I think Richie, I'm just going to jump in. How maybe some other selective learning schools are structured, and I think there's a point person on the LSC that might lead this. And like, I don't necessarily know like kind of all the back end that they're, all the strings that they're pulling with, whether it's like students and parents. But I think that there's one LSC member and they become kind of like the voice of that committee. So then if you do have concerns or questions just about like issues, that like you then go through that one person to kind of express like, what the issue might be. I'm just making this up, like the school dance was canceled and we never knew the school dance was canceled until the day after the school dance. I mean, this has happened before. So then you would then voice that to that like point person, and then I don't know exactly how it functions within the LSC.
That's more of a communication issue, right? That's
it's like
different than what you
but I think it's like in that particular case, I think it's like the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then you have that person to be in like this kind of cultural, and so it's open up to the entire community, and it's put in like the principals newsletter every week to say, if you have any questions or concerns, like please share it with this one point person. And I'm kind of paraphrasing because I don't necessarily know all the details, but I think that is like a similar type of, and maybe then that subcommittee then meets, they discuss it, and then like they kind of, I don't know if they're like then having a subcommittee within the LSC meeting, like this is part of a budget committee, and then they have this culture committee to then discuss.
I think, listen, all these things are great. I think the challenge is defining it a little bit, because what you're saying makes sense, what Suzanne's saying makes sense, but that's really broad.
Right, and maybe there's just a little bit more research that we need to do. I mean, it's but I know that there is like others like different home schools, and how do they function? So maybe create this committee. And like I said, I just know this very like briefly. I don't know if like Victoria, Lane, or if you have any insights.
I will look into that.
And I know there's a point. I know the point person who serves on the LSC, the select enrollment useful for this type of committee, so I can get a little bit more insight.
Sure. No, and I know that some of I think a lot of LSCs have a much more robust kind of committee structure than we do. And I think part of the reason that opening it up is not only to allow other voices to be heard and to feel comfortable, but also because we just, we all have limited amounts of time. But I think sometimes the committees meet, and I don't think they certainly don't meet monthly, maybe they meet quarterly. And it's more of an ad hoc. Sometimes it's when something is arising for one reason or the other. But my idea would be that an initial meeting could be kind of defined. I mean, I'm happy to propose something that is more structured or has a specific goals and purposes. I just didn't want to necessarily limit it, and I was trying to respond to a concern that I think that we've heard, that members of the community, parents and guardians, or members of the student community said they're not always. I just want to make sure people feel included and have a forum that they feel comfortable. And I don't imagine it as, I think there would be certain bylaws or rules about participation and a respectful dialogue. And I think it would be, part of it would be to celebrate student success. But I think people are seem reluctant to from what we heard to burden and overburden administration. And I just want to make sure that people who don't now, in the same way some of the students might not feel a sense of belonging, if they're members of the community, otherwise parents or guardians who don't feel a sense of belonging, how can we increase that sense of belonging? How can we, I think one of the students said very passionately to us, how do we move forward? How do we grow and continue to promote a unified community, because we're going to need it. I fear what is ahead, not from external things, right? We're going to have budget constraints where you have an environment outside of this school that is challenging.
I just heard two different examples of what this committee could be. So I'm going to recommend that we table this to our next meeting until we can have some more refined goals and expectations of what the subcommittee would look like. I will say, however, that I feel like some of this is coming from a lack of a parent induction to the Payton community, right? And I think there might be some parents who feel left out of the FOP space. And they're looking for another space to have a parent community. And for better or for worse, they're okay, well, who's talking about this? And how do I know about that? And, what's going on? And people feel well, something has to be happening. And y'all, it's not that exciting. I think people are making it more sensational than it really is, right? We have wonderful teachers, they come to work. We have wonderful attendance of teachers. The kids, they come to school. Everybody's teaching to learn. It's not a lot. It's not like High School Musical where kids are skateboarding down the hallway. You walk through the hallways, there's nobody in the hallway except for the last block. I think my male students, they get a little tired of sitting and they got to get up and walk around. That has been my data pool, right? Last block, you get a lot of young men in the hallway got ants in their hands, right? They need water, they need a bathroom, they need a snack. I get it. I have sons. See, right? It's I've been sitting all day. But y'all, it's not a lot happening. But I think that it is important for parents to feel like they are part of this community, that they have a voice, that they do have somewhere where they can contribute. I mean, our parents are just as talented and amazing as our students. And everybody's just trying to figure out, like, where do I fit in? How can I get involved? We saw today, we have, like, all these parents that want to be a part of the local school council, right? Like, everybody just wants to help. And, like, what other ways can you contribute? Just because you don't get voted on the LSC doesn't mean you can't reach out, doesn't mean you can't have a committee, doesn't mean you can't meet, doesn't mean you can't share your ideas within the confines of the bureaucracy that we sit in, right? It's like, we're not a private school, we're not, privately funded, we are still a CPS school. We have to operate within those fiscal constraints, the laws, all the things, right? So I think I hear you 1000% whenever you say, hey, people are saying they want something. But I think we have to really sit down with people and ask them, what do you want? What do you envision? Like, what does this look like? So we can try to craft it, because we're doing all of these things. We have over 100 clubs and activities. Like, kids are coming up every day, creating new opportunities. We got a new DECA club. Like, people are signing up for stuff and they want to do these things. But if we're trying to create it without talking to people, we're going to miss the mark every single time. Right? We're going to miss the mark every single time. So
that is a great point, and I can only respond to the parent feedback and some of it. How aligned is it with the three things? I don't know, except for the IWP for culture, and it may mean a totally separate thing where parents figure out like different ways in which they can contribute. But I certainly I don't know from the students, so I'd be interested in hearing from the students, because I don't want to force something. Like, you do have a lot. You've got student government, and if this isn't something that the students are interested in, then it's a different focus. Correct.
I would say, for me personally, professional, but coming into it, just I felt like I was kind of in a culture shock in a sense, because at my middle school and elementary school, it was majority Latino, so being in a space with such a diverse group of people was a struggle at first, and there weren't really many spaces where you can bring this diverse group of people to sit down, talk, share cultures, and all that stuff. So I feel like that would be a good space. The committee would be a good space for that.
And I think one of the goals should be to celebrate the diversity that we have, because I mean, there's definitely certain groups where it is not as robust and diverse as the rest of us.
I just have to agree with Sylvia. I came from a middle school with a very different culture, so I would definitely do it.
Well, yeah. Where are we?
Is there some sort of structure in which, is it possible to have some sort of special meeting or some sort of opportunity to hear more from parents and other students to inform what this could look like? I hate to give someone something to do, but
I don't mind doing this because it was my apparently half-baked idea. But I'm happy to do that and to reach out to, because I have some parent friends who are on other schools' committees or have been in the past, and maybe we can treat it a little bit like we did with the working group, and maybe one of the students wouldn't mind talking with me, and we could maybe float a proposal before our next meeting that everyone can look at, so I'm not keeping people late here, and agree upon a structure or a couple alternatives maybe to propose and to see if it's feasible or not, and if people find value.
Yeah, I would also say for the parents, another thing that I know my mom, she was a bit upset about it. She speaks Spanish, she doesn't really speak English fluently, so I guess she also struggled in ways to be a part of the parent community in a sense. So I guess opening up that space and coming up with ways of how they can also be incorporated into the community, because I know we have a lot of Mandarin and Spanish speakers like there's so many ways I can see them being appropriate. Like my mom, she told me like, oh, she would love to volunteer on like admin students day, specifically talking to like Latino and Hispanic parents because she knows Spanish and explaining like my experience and her experience as a kid. Like I think that would be great, and it would free like, especially for the new parents and students coming in, for them to see that there is a space for them here as well.
I think that would be terrific because that would be, even just hearing about that as an issue, it's like, oh, of course, but if we don't hear about it from someone, because I know on Admitted Student Day there are actually signs that say like, speak English, like speak Mandarin, but how does that message get out effectively to people?
And Suzanne, I'll do a little bit of research. Suzanne knows some of this. It's good, so I'll get some just data points and share it.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna make a motion to table this until the next meeting, and then we will revisit. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Okay, great. And then Dr. Shabazz wanted to discuss and vote on the allocation. We have some funding to allocate to sports.
Yeah, real quick, we were given approximately $23,000 in addition from the district for athletics. There is a new IHSA rule that says that we have to have shot clocks. So we went ahead with some of that money and purchased the shot clocks because they are required. There was CPS was able to get a deal on them because they had so many schools going on it, so we got a discount. That was $4,800. So we have a little over like $18,000 left. I just wanted to put it out to the committee for discussion in terms of what do you think, how do you think we should have that money? I did speak with our athletic director, Mr. Lopez. He said that he was okay with divvying up the rest of the funds evenly among the rest of the teams. So just opening up the floor for discussion in terms of how we want to spend those funds.
Dr. Schwartz, does that include non-athletic IHSA, like scholastic and chess? Or is it just classic sports?
That's a great question that I do not have an answer to. So I debate, scholastic bowl, chess, speech, they're all IHSA activities. I'm sure we would be okay with including those since they are IHSA. I haven't seen any specific language from CPS athletics around. It's our money, it's on the line, like we can do what we need to do with it. But sports equipment is expensive, right? So if we focus on one particular sport to do one thing, that money will go like that, like football pads, like cleats, like that money goes so quickly. So just want to throw that out there.
What are the current needs of the teams? Is my question.
Yeah, is there anything specific that like is broken that needs immediate fixing, or no?
No, I think the main thing that we needed right away was those shot clocks so that we could be in compliance. And we were able to secure those.
And so the shot clocks would be for basketball
or volleyball. Shot clocks for basketball, yes, but it's an IHSA rule, and we don't want to be out of compliance.
Sure.
Well, I'd recommend you divvy it up.
I agree.
You're getting it. There's going to be some teams that may.
Yeah, I was just saying, unless there's something that's literally broken, that's not working, that we're going to have to pay out of our budget anyway.
Yeah.
Other than that, if there's nothing.
Are there teams that have, that are doing exceptionally well with fundraising anyway?
Yes.
I'm just wondering, from an equity standpoint, if there are some teams that maybe struggle.
You could look at the, you can pass these out, you can see it.
Look at the baseball. I don't know, but.
It's also hard to say because some of them are at the end of the season, your funds are going to be lower than the seasons that are just starting. So volleyball and baseball are going to look like they're more funded potentially because they haven't spent their uniform money or whatever it is.
Right.
But yes, there are definitely teams that fundraise
much better than others.
And some of them are funded like through boosters, who might have an idea as well about, needs, because I know when teams have urgent needs, they will probably go through boosters for a lot of reasons.
Boosters is fundraising by parents, so if you don't have a big parent involvement.
Well, right, that's what I'm thinking, like some sports have, football has a ton of kids and they do amazing fundraising. And there might be some sports that are just getting off the ground, whereas flag football, we got they did it. So I think I would love to do a little bit more research about the funding needs, and are we talking about just dividing it equally and not on the like pro rata head, and then like, do we have gender equity? Do we have some sports that are just launching that it would really help them to have?
Well, I think the gender equity thing is a big deal too.
Yeah.
Let's put more into that.
I think we do need to do research because the sports that you charge, like basketball and volleyball, you charge sell season passes, so they make more money. And then it's all impacted if the teams progress on and get to state or not national, but state, there's more money involved there. They're paying for the travel, expenses, the meals. So the distribution of this, I think it's
unless we buy that field for $18,000.
I mean, it's zero.
donating me? I don't think there's any land.
You can buy the sludge.
No, that's 18K.
1 square foot.
Can I just ask a question? Yeah, on the 18,000, then I'm just gonna say hypothetical. You split it evenly across all sports. Where is that money then managed? Does that money go back to each sport?
It goes in their
booster?
it goes in their
It goes in their internal account.
Okay.
Boosters is separate, so they keep their money separate so that they don't have to use, like, they're not bound by CPS vendors, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct.
So that is
You
a
would be able
separate.
to see it on this report in there.
Yes. Okay.
Everybody would get a deposit.
We need it.
Things are clear.
And a lot of the money, like when you buy your season tickets or the kids buy season tickets, that's all through boosters.
Correct. And then that money.
And that money is like sitting separate. Each team, within boosters has an account. You have to reach out to boosters to see if they'll let it. They've been, I'll be honest, not extremely forthcoming with what is in each person.
Actually, you're right. I think maybe not. Just maybe we can just talk to.
It's because it's all privately funded.
RET.
It's not. It's a little murky.
But that's why I just want to clarify.
So we want to look at what each team has so far in their internal account.
It's all listed, right?
Yep, it's on here. Yep. I separated them out. Yep.
Oh, I think I just took the whole pile, so we don't have to go that way. Just count.
And
I already told you how. So just take.
Does it include?
Yep.
Yeah. The IHSA.
2, 3, 4.
Sorry.
I took the whole pile is my point. I was like, and then they're all going to be sitting much.
So do we need to table?
Yes.
Let's table this.
I'm going to move to table this discussion till the March meeting as well, until we have a little bit more research to discuss.
And I'll have Mr. Lopez come.
Ooh, perfect.
Or have him submit like a proposal or something.
Okay. Second? All in favor of tabling? Opposed? Abstained? Okay, that carries. It's all gonna be.
Reconciliation, summary trial balance.
Okay. We have, if no one else, that's it on new business. So we now have public comment. I don't have the sign.
Lots of numbers.
I don't have the sign sheet.
Oh, where'd the sign sheet go?
Sign sheet? Sign sheet?
Yes, 3.
It's over there.
Here, sign sheet is coming around.
Thank you. Yeah, I just tried to find it. I'll watch it. Oh, it's actually. That's it? Okay. That's it. All right, so we have Princessa up first.
All right.
When you're ready.
Good evening, LSC. Walter Payton needs leadership that truly listens to students and families. Leadership that puts integrity and well-being of the school community above personal interests. I have attended LSC meetings since my freshman year. As someone deeply invested in this community, I have been disappointed to see administration repeatedly dismiss concerns, neglect accountability, and retaliate against students and families. I have seen families feel unheard and students left without the protection and support they deserve. I have seen administration try to silence voices who call for transparency and change. To those running for the LSC, this responsibility should not be taken lightly. Serving in this role means committing to dedicated advocacy for students and families. It means refusing to be swayed by pressure or complacency, even when the system feels difficult or resistant to change. It requires strength, the strength to ask hard questions, to demand honest answers, and take action against inequality. It requires earning trust through consistency, integrity, and action. You will hear difficult truths. You will face moments when it is easier to look away than to confront a problem. But real leadership means choosing to do what is right, not what is convenient. I ask that you only run for LSC if you are willing to consistently and passionately support and advocate for Payton students, families, and community. The world does not change through complacency, and neither will Payton. Change begins with questioning the system and continues through persistent advocacy and meaningful action that turns hopes into reality. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Fernandez?
LSC, retaliation and intimidation should never be tolerated, especially by a body entrusted by oversight and accountability like the LSC. When students, families, and staff raise concerns, they should be met with openness and solutions, not fear and punishment. A healthy school community depends on trust, and trust cannot exist where individuals feel they will face consequences for speaking up. Students deserve a safe, supportive environment when leadership models integrity and remains accountable to the community it serves. We deserve new leadership. Accountability also cannot be reduced to paperwork. An addendum or written clarification does not erase an ongoing pattern of neglect and inaction. If a principal is failing to meet the responsibilities of the role, responding to concerns, or fostering a positive school climate, that reality is not changed by procedural updates. Leadership is demonstrated through consistent action, responsiveness, and a clear commitment to student well-being. Transparency must be your highest priority. When will the retaliation and intimidation stop? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fernandez. Anyone else?
Yes.
Anyone else?
The libel and the slander has been going on for far too long. Far too long. And it is created an environment that makes people think that concerns aren't being heard, that things are happening, that people reach out and ask for things that are not being done. And that is not the case. I am nobody's punching bag. And I cannot bend the rules for one particular student or for a group of particular students. I am the principal of over 1,200 students in this building. Not one, not two, not a team, not a group. What I do for one, I have to do for everybody. And I have to be very aware of the precedent that is being set whenever we do things. I am fair, and I've always been fair. And we are not going to beat a dead horse about these things. If the answer is no, the answer is no. We got to work around it and figure out what's next. But we cannot, I'm talking in general. I'm talking in general because I have been the target, everybody in this room has witnessed it, of unfair treatment. I show up to every meeting. I am here all the time. And to be completely clear, I'm the only person on this council who knows how to be a principal. And who is held accountable. I'm not, let me say my piece, because I've been quiet. I have been quiet.
That's in our bylaws.
I have been quiet, and I'm not responding. This is my opportunity to speak. And I feel that I have been treated unfairly in a lot of different ways. But people have to understand that my job is to serve all students, everybody. And I am willing to do what it takes to move this school community, but we are not stuck. We are thriving. Let's be 1,000% clear about that. We are not broken. This is a wonderful school with people who dedicate hours and hours on end to make this a great place to learn and to work and to grow, period.
So we can respond to all public comments now. I'm gonna move to adjourn. Should I get a second?
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, 7:40.